He doesn't move like royalty anymore. Prince Harry carries the weight of a man who's seen too much and said too little. Every public step looks rehearsed, every smile delayed by a thought he can't silence. Cameras caught him again in New York, same red beard, same posture, but the spark that once drew the world in is gone. His eyes tell on him. They look past everything, like he's searching for the version of himself he left behind. Friends whisper that he's been opening up in fragments, quietly admitting that the life he built for freedom feels more like a sentence. The man who escaped the palace for privacy now wakes up surrounded by new walls, PR teams, streaming cameras, brand deals instead of crown duties. He got the spotlight, just not the piece.at the Project Healthy Minds Gala. The illusion started to slip. The crowd waited for that signature connection between Harry and Meghan Markle, the hand squeeze, the glance, the whispered joke, but none of it came. They stood there like mannequins in borrowed warmth. Witnesses say Harry stared anywhere but her way. 30 seconds of quiet said everything words couldn't. That evening was meant to mark their return, a reminder that they were still Hollywood's royal pair. Instead, it felt like a silent breakup under chandeliers. Those who know them swear that night changed something in him. The act stopped working. Behind the scenes, Meghan tried to rewrite the moment. Her team was told to re-edit footage, soften angles, find warmth where none existed. One insider even claims an AI-enhanced clip of Harry touching her back was uploaded to fan pages, a digital gesture of love that never actually happened. The witnesses at the event said the space between them never closed. Inside her circle, the rule stayed the same: we must look happy. But happiness, no matter how edited, has its own truth. The more she controlled the image, the emptier it began to feel. Beneath every filter was panic, a woman protecting a brand while the man beside her quietly let go. Then came the dinner story that blew up her PR game. A glossy headline appeared: Harry and Meghan enjoy a double date with Ed Sheeran. Within hours, it unraveled. Ed's reps told the press he hadn't been with them at all. He'd eaten with friends at another table. Insiders said Meghan spotted Ed outside the restaurant and ordered a quick shot for her content team, angled, blurry, enough to sell a story. The next day, that clip hit social media with captions about friendship. But Ed was livid. People close to him quoted his response: "Keep my name out of your mouth." That was the first real crack in her Hollywood armor. Suddenly, the glitter crowd, Gwyneth Paltrow, Cameron Diaz, even quiet allies in LA, began stepping back. Invitations slowed. Photographers lost interest. For the first time, the power couple looked isolated. Behind the glamour, Meghan began reaching out to old contacts, old PR minds, even Marcus Anderson, the longtime friend who'd guided her early fame. Sources say the calls weren't friendly, they were strategic. She wanted options, positioning, a plan B. And then came the darker rumor that Meghan keeps private messages, recordings, maybe even footage of Harry and his family, her insurance. No one knows if it's real, but the idea alone makes people uneasy. It paints her not as the victim of fame, but as its engineer. While she recalibrated, Harry withdrew. No rants, no interviews, just absence. Those close to him say he's been rediscovering quiet. His laughter ends too soon. His eyes wander when people talk. The prince who once vowed to shield the woman he loved now looks like a man shielding himself. One friend claims Harry finally admitted, "I thought I was saving her, but maybe I was saving the wrong person." That confession spread fast among insiders. It explained the exhaustion, the way he's been drifting from events, skipping appearances that once defined them both. Meanwhile, Meghan kept curating new posts, garden selfies, motivational quotes, the glossy calm of someone holding the walls up with willpower alone. But online, people noticed the shift. The captions felt rehearsed, the energy forced. The internet can smell when love turns into PR.by now. Harry was showing up solo, private dinners, small gatherings, quiet smiles that looked unburdened. Some say he laughed for real again, something rare lately. But every sighting brought speculation. Was he moving on, or just catching his breath? Their connection had turned mechanical, more about coordination than affection. The chemistry that once shook the palace had cooled into professional politeness. To those watching closely, it looked like negotiation, not romance. Two brands tied together by contracts and consequences. The saddest part? They were both victims of the same illusion. He thought freedom meant leaving the crown. She thought fame meant safety. Instead, both found loneliness dressed in luxury. Each red carpet flash that once symbolized triumph now feels like a reminder of everything lost. Somewhere inside Harry still lives the boy who walked behind his mother's coffin, trying to make sense of cruelty and cameras. And somewhere inside Meghan is still the girl chasing validation in a world that forgets fast. Together they built an empire of visibility, but love built on image collapses the moment the lens turns away, and that's where they are now. A prince too tired to pretend and a woman too invested to stop pretending. Time has a way of stripping away the polish. And for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the shine has worn thin. The world no longer sees a fairy tale. It sees two people walking in opposite directions but still pretending they share the same road. What was once a love story framed in rebellion now reads like an unspoken truce between strangers. Those who've seen Harry lately describe a man who's learning to breathe again. Cautiously, like he's afraid of his own relief. He still shows up to causes he believes in, but there's a distance in his tone. No rehearsed laughter, no grand declarations, just quiet sincerity. He speaks less about them now and more about purpose. That's what insiders say hurts Meghan most, the shift from we to I. In Los Angeles, she's been spotted keeping her usual composure. Designer shades, smooth posture, that camera-ready smile that hides a storm. But to those close to her, the silence after Harry's public absences feels heavy. She keeps reminding her circle, we're fine, everything's fine, even when no one asked. That kind of reassurance, whispered too often, becomes a confession. The distance between them has become logistical as much as emotional. He spends more time in New York. She prefers California's curated calm. Even their security teams are separate now, his for discretion, hers for display. When Harry walks alone, it's through side doors. When Meghan steps out, it's through flashbulbs. Private gatherings. The contrast is impossible to miss. Harry dresses simply, the relaxed polo, the rolled sleeves. Meghan, as always, arrives like she's stepping onto a magazine cover. The unspoken message, one wants to disappear, the other refuses to. It's not animosity, it's evolution in opposite directions. Friends say Harry has grown close again with people from his old life, men who knew him before royal headlines or Hollywood deals. They meet quietly, no cameras, no speeches. He laughs there, easily. A close friend confided that for the first time in years, he looks unburdened. But behind that peace lies guilt, the kind that comes from realizing the dream you defended was the very thing suffocating you. And Meghan, meanwhile, is rebuilding. Calls to stylists, brand strategists, producers. She's sketching a new version of herself, one that doesn't need the title Duchess to draw attention. Some say she's pitching a wellness brand, others whisper about documentaries focusing on female reinvention. Whatever it is, it's clear she's not waiting for a reconciliation. She's rehearsing her next chapter. Rumors swirl about private archives, old messages, footage, letters she keeps sealed away. Some believe it's protection. Others call it leverage. But the mere idea fuels unease. Harry's inner circle reportedly warned him, be careful what stories are told when you stop telling yours. And maybe that's why he's been so guarded lately. Publicly, both continue the performance of civility. They smile in separate photos, speak kindly in passing interviews. But those who watch body language for a living say it all changed. The rhythm, the proximity, the energy. Once they mirrored each other. Now they orbit like distant stars, connected only by gravity and memory. A moment that summed it up came during a charity gala in Beverly Hills. Meghan made a surprise appearance, radiant in a silver gown. She thanked attendees, spoke about gratitude and growth, words that once echoed her brand. Then the host mentioned Harry's name, inviting him on stage. The crowd applauded, but he wasn't there. He'd left hours earlier, quietly, avoiding the spotlight that used to define them. That absence spoke louder than any statement. Insiders later said the two hadn't coordinated the event at all. It was a coincidence, or perhaps a message, for the media. The cracks became content. Magazines wrote of mystery tension, talk shows joked about royal reality TV. But the real story, buried beneath gossip, was far sadder. It wasn't betrayal that broke them, it was exhaustion. They fought too long against everyone else and forgot to stop fighting each other. Harry's close friends say he's been reading again, journaling, even walking alone at night without guards. He's rediscovering things that make him feel human. He told one confidant, I lost track of who I was supposed to be versus who I actually am. Those words lingered. The prince who once defied a monarchy now faces the quieter rebellion of rebuilding himself. Meanwhile, Meghan remains the consummate professional. Every appearance calculated, every photo a message. She knows the currency of sympathy and influence, and she's learned to spend it wisely. But beneath that control lies fear, the fear of fading relevance. Hollywood forgives many things except silence, and for someone built on visibility, invisibility is death. When they do speak privately, sources say it's cordial, transactional. More about schedules and statements than affection. They've learned to coexist as business partners in the empire they built, not as lovers who built each other. The tragedy is not the distance, it's the routine acceptance of it. Their friends describe them as two halves of an empire still standing out of habit. The photos remain, the foundation remains, but the fire that lit it is gone. Harry doesn't hide his fatigue anymore. Meghan hides hers behind ambition. Both are surviving, but in opposite directions. One of Harry's mentors said something that stuck with him. You can escape a palace, but not the parts of yourself that belong to it. That line reportedly made him go quiet for a long time. Maybe because it's true. Maybe because he knows that no matter how far he runs, the ghosts of duty and loss will follow him. Meghan, on the other hand, has learned a different lesson. Control the narrative, and you control survival. It's the rule that carried her from Suits and Scripts to global stages. But even the best storytellers reach a moment when the audience stops believing. The applause fades, and all that's left is echo. By now, their marriage feels like one of those echo chambers, loud, but empty. Harry walks with humility now, smiling softly to fans who still care, choosing peace over posture. Meghan walks with precision, aware that every move might be her next headline. Behind closed doors, the question that haunts them both is simple. When love becomes performance, what happens when the curtain falls? For Harry, it means rediscovering the man who once believed in quiet purpose. For Meghan, it means facing a world that stopped buying her perfection. In the end, they may not need a public breakup. The silence already tells the story. Two people who fought the world together but couldn't survive the world they built, and yet, it's not quite tragedy, more like awakening. Harry seems lighter without pretending. Meghan seems fiercer without compromise. Maybe the fairy tale didn't die. Maybe it just evolved into honesty. The prince who gave up his crown may finally understand that peace doesn't come from exile. And the actress who conquered headlines may learn that fame isn't freedom. The lights will keep flashing. The rumors will keep spinning, but somewhere off camera, a man is learning to live quietly, and a woman is learning to live loudly. Two stories still unfolding, side by side but no longer intertwined, because in the end, every empire built on image eventually meets its truth, and when it does, it doesn't collapse with noise, it fades with grace, and that's where we leave them. Harry, finding calm in simplicity, and Meghan, chasing relevance through reinvention. No crowns, no scripts, no illusions, just two souls who mistook attention for love, now learning that silence can be its own kind of freedom.